Morning. Oh, we have Facebook. Hello. What have we got there? Guys, this live is probably more for me than it is for you guys today. Hey, Marlena, you know, sometimes the things that we need to, you know, share also help us. And yeah, I'm just going to be out there and let you know that while the message is really important and something that I hope you can take with you and is something that you'll get value from, today's live is probably really just for me to help me get my head around something. And what I'm talking to you about today is, you know, when your strongest values are challenged. You know, for me, hey Simone, so, hey Emily, great to have so many of you on, losing my voice. You know, I don't know if you've been in my community for a long time or not, but one of the things that you'll know about me is I have very strong values. You know, I've trained in martial arts for many years, and even that aside, I think even as a small child, I had very strong integrity, you know, and that's just how I've lived my life. And like everybody else, you know, I screw up, I make mistakes and things like that. But just recently, somebody's come out of the woodwork. This was a client who worked with me well over 12 months ago. On one of my longer programs, and basically just blindsided me out of the blue and messaged me basically saying that I ripped her off and that how dare I have charged that sort of money, I should never have taken her on as a client. And it was just totally blindsided me, because the relationship I'd had with this lady was amazing, and I worked very hard for her, and she had joined one of my longer programs but had to move away. But that was kind of always on the cards, where I would continue, if she couldn't get to the events, where I would continue to coach her long distance. And you know, so straight away I've gone back through my old emails, through my old messages, through the messages on my phone, and every single message was positive about how she was loving the program and how it was the best thing she'd ever done and how I was an amazing coach. And so, you know, but there was also a lot of instances where I'd been chasing her, and there were comments where I basically said things like, you know, come on, are you ready to start moving forward again? And the excuse would be, you know, I was really busy with this and that. And I remember typing back and saying, what, for 4 months? You went missing for 4 months to fix that? And she was full of apologies, and, you know, she had a lot going on in her life, and I totally understand that. But the understanding with any of my long-term clients who purchase one of my longer-term programs is that I'm here for good. So if the program finishes and you're not where you want to be, then I'm still here for you, so you can reach out anytime. And over months and months, you know, I continued to try and chase up this lady and wasn't really getting much back. And just like anything else in life, you know, you keep trying to help someone over and over and over again, and when you're not getting much in return, eventually you kind of turn your focus to someone else. So, or the next thing, or the other thing that you're focusing on. But, you know, I always did say, you know, when you go, you know, when you're ready to go, I'm here, you know, I'm always going to be here. And so this message that's come out of the blue that led with a message along the lines of, you know, it looks like you're doing really well for yourself. And I could sense this undertone. And then there was this unleashing of kind of venom. And I went to see my kinesiologist about this because I couldn't shift it. And I'm thinking, I don't know why, because legally I'm okay. I know I did everything that I could, but I can't understand why I can't shift this feeling in the pit of my stomach. It just doesn't, I just can't get rid of it. And she said, well, one of your greatest values has been questioned, your integrity. And that's at your core. And, you know, I've always been the sort of person who is, you know, has a very strong sense of justice, and injustice just drives me crazy. And I think, you know, there's a lot of feelings around that. So I had to go and, you know, do some work on that. But one of the things that my kinesiologist said to me, and that's really what I'm getting to in today's live, is that because I listed, I did this, and then I did this, and then I did this. And even when she got in touch, I just said, are you okay? You don't sound okay. You know, do you need me to fly over to see you? Or, you know, let's just get you on track. And a response came back that wasn't very nice. And I just said, you know, so I've done all of these things, and I've tried, and my kinesiologist, bless her, she said to me, there's only one thing you haven't done. And I said, well, what's that? And she said, you haven't let her take responsibility for her role in it. And I'm like, oh, of course I haven't, because I just wanted her to be unhappy, and I was devastated that she wasn't happy. But, you know, it's taken quite a bit to get through the process of coming out on the other side and saying, you know, that's right, you know, I've gone back through everything that I did, and I can hand on heart say, you know, I did everything that I promised that I was going to. I was such a big support. But when somebody questions one of your strongest values, it's really hard to get past. And if you pride yourself on, you know, making sure that every client feels special, or that they feel supported, or if you say you're always going to be there, that you are always be there, you are always going to be there, and that sort of stuff's questioned. You know, it's just like having your honesty questioned, or your integrity questioned, or any of those things, and it rocks you to your core. And what I want to say about that is it's actually a good thing, because it just shows us how strong we are in our convictions, and how strong and how deep those values run. And for me, integrity is everything. And when somebody questions that unfairly, yeah, it probably affected me far more than it should have. But it did, you know, and as I said, I went and had some kinesiology to deal with it, and spoke with a couple of girlfriends at length, and we just talked it backwards and forwards. And I guess that's why I'm talking to you guys about it today as well, because I really feel like I need to just talk it out a little bit. So thank you for listening. But yeah, it's one of those things that can rock you to your core. Hey Chantel, so if you're, you know, if you've been in a place where you feel like you've really tried your best and done your best and honored your word, and somebody questions that, you know, my advice to you would be the same advice that my kinesiologist gave to me, which is, you know, make sure that you are not forgetting that one thing, is that, and that is that, you know, the person at the other end, you know, is responsible for their role in it as well. And so for me, that was very freeing. It was the ability for me to be able to sit back and think, yeah, all I can think of was what did I do and what did I didn't do and what did I, you know, and all that sort of stuff, when really when I had to look at it is that, you know, she was given the tools and she just didn't implement them, didn't put it into practice, kept going missing, and over time I gave up. But with the, you know, with full permission at any time to come back and see me. And so I'm pretty satisfied now that I've done the right, you know, I did the right thing. I've handled it in a way that I feel really good about. And, you know, if she's still unhappy, then there's really not much that I can do about that. And the responsibility really is hers, to deal with the fact that she invested the money, but she didn't do the work. And I can't really do much more than that. There is always going to be people that you just can't please, no matter what you do, because it comes from within them. Yeah, that's so true, Tiffany. And that's exactly right. And, you know, I think 12 months down the track, for somebody to come out of the blue, you know, there's something going on that's definitely not about me. Maybe my success is triggering that, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, you know, 12 months is a very long time to stay out of touch, and then all of a sudden, you know, come on at a rant. How hard we all try, we're never going to be able to please everyone all the time. Yeah, totally. And actually, Emily, that was the other thing that a couple of my girlfriends spoke about, who are coaches as well. And they said, you've done nothing wrong. You've actually done nothing wrong. I'm like, oh, but why does it feel like it? Why does it feel like I've done something wrong? And for me, it's because I don't want to let anybody down. You know, I want her to feel happy and as though she got what she invested in and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, as I said, I'm satisfied with the fact that I brought my half to the party, and you can only do that, can't you? And yeah, it's always a really tough lesson, I think, when you learn that lesson again, that you just cannot please everybody all the time, no matter how hard you try. And it's true, as the previous comment mentioned, that, you know, it's not within us, it's within them. And something that she's seen on my newsfeed perhaps has triggered that response. I'm not sure, but it's beyond my control. At the end of the day, I just need to feel satisfied with what I've done. And, you know, I know my integrity is intact, and people can question it all they want, but if I can go to sleep at night and feel okay that I did what I said I was going to do and continue to offer support, there's not much more that I can do. But yeah, it's one of those things that just gets you in the guts, doesn't it? Because, you know, if you pride yourself on you know, the values that you hold dear to you, and you try to live by those values day in, day out. When somebody questions them, it's pretty tough. But you know, I've been soaking up a lot of love in my community and been getting lots of messages recently, and just going into my groups and seeing the progress that my ladies are making, and just the love that's within my community for me and for each other. You know, it's just incredible. So I've been choosing to focus on that instead, and just try to put it out of my mind. I'm not sure what's going to come next as far as all that goes, and I guess there's some unease around what that could potentially be. But you know, you can only focus on what you can control, can't you? So that's where I'm choosing to focus. Anyway, thank you for indulging me today. As I said, that really was alive for me. I really felt like I needed to talk it out a little bit more. So if you feel like you're my therapist today, I apologize. And I'll be back again tomorrow with something that's more for you and less for me. Thanks, guys. Bye.